Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Um, Noob here, and I need to address a couple things first. One, I'm making this at like 3:30 a.m. So, I start school in 2 hours. It'll be my second day of school. Speaking of since I'm starting school, since I've started school already, expect my upload schedule to be shortened, but I'll still try my best. I'll still try my best when I have free time. And with that out of the way, um, yeah, this is going to be chapter 1 of What If Naruto was raised in the Sand Village. Hope you guys enjoy. Chapter 1, the Kazekage's greatest decision. In this What If, Wasa, the fourth Kazekage, will be related to Minato somehow. He won't be related by blood or anything, but by law. He was Minato's brother. Yes, Wasa's wife in this one would be Uzumaki, meaning that God would be able to use some sealing and chain jutsu. But anyway, because their wives are from the same clan, Minato and Wasa would be pretty close, meaning that the Sand and Leaf would be close as well. The alliance between the two villages is very close to say the least. They both help each other when the other needs it. They supply firepower, food, clothing, and things like that. And fast forward to the Ninetales attack, the same things happen as canon, and Kurama gets shielded from Naruto. But Minato got to say something before he died. It was, Minato got to say, he was in, I want Naruto to be raised in the Sand Village, the closest thing to the family he has left in this world. Jiraiya Sensei is always trying to do some research so he wouldn't be a good guardian. You'll be too busy with Hokage work, so the best choices. Wasa and Kawa. This is my last decision as a Hokage. Any objections, Kusina? Sina ought to know. Hiruzen says that no matter what, he will fulfill the request. They then pass on, but if they were to witness what Hiruzen would do, they would be severely disappointed. And, in case you couldn't tell, Kabuwa is the name of Gao's mom and Wasa's wife. Anyway, Hiruzen had full intention on doing this and was actually going to make a meeting with Wasa and everything, but Danzo, being Danzo, he had to fill Hiruzen with doubt that Wasa was going to use Naruto to take over the leaf, since Wasa was known as a cold-hearted leader before he married Karuha. And ultimately, Hiruzen wouldn't let Wasa, can't speak. Hiruzen wouldn't let Wasa even know that Naruto existed. There we go. Hiruzen made a 5 Kage summit a month after Naruto's birth, and had stood firm on his decision with Naruto. Everyone was shocked, since as I've said earlier, while Minato was a Kage, the Leaf and Sand were practically sibling villages. And when Wasa found out that Naruto was alive, he was furious. He heard that Minato and Kushina had died during the Ninetales attack, and had sent as much resources as he could to the Leaf to help them in the time of need, but he has now found out that his brother by law had a son, and its predecessor had decided to keep that child away from him. Naruto was the only family Wasa had, and vice versa. Wasa had lost Karuha, his wife, so Naruto is the only family he has left. When it comes to relations with the Leaf Village, at least. The tension in the air was so, I'm reading this, I don't know why I said it. The tension in the air was so thick that it made Hinata look like a Sakura. Oh my goodness. Anyway, Wasa and Hiruzen were inches away from having a final valley fight, but the other Kage were there to stop them. At the end of the summit, Wasa had already made up his mind, as Hiruzen had. He would go to Naruto himself and take back his family. As a heads up, I'm going to be saying family a lot in this What If, and apparently, like, family is a meme when it comes to Fast and Furious. I haven't seen Fast and Furious, so I wouldn't know, but yeah, just as a heads up, I'm gonna be saying family a lot. Anyway, Before Wasa could get Naruto, he'd have to let Naruto know that life is better on the sand than the leaf. So even though he wanted to hold Naruto on the sand so badly, he couldn't. He had to wait until Naruto was old enough to know that he would like it better on the sand, and that's what he did. Wasa waited for 4 years to get his missing family member back from him. And since Wasa cares so much about his family, he won't try to kill his 4-year-old son multiple times. Like, who does that? What? Oh my goodness. He won't try to kill his son multiple times, and he would in fact be a great father to Gawa, Tamari, and Kankuro. He would encourage Kankuro's puppetry and make him think that every time he fought with his puppets, that it would be a performance of art and things like that. So basically, Wasa raised Kankuro to think that every time Kankuro fought with his puppets, Kankuro would have a Datara mindset, but extremely less crazy. He would have Tamari train with smaller fans that traditional Japanese dancers would use. Don't know what they look like, look it up. And she could unleash small gusts of wind from them. And once he was ready for big fans, he personally made the fan himself and had infused some of his gold dust to not only make it stronger, allowing her to shoot out some gold dust as well, but he also made it heavier so Tamari could have some form of muscles if she had to fight in taijutsu. And for Gawa's seal would be a lot more stable since Wasa had learned some sealing jutsu from Minato, Kusina, and his wife Kaoru. And Gawa would be able to use Uzumaki change since he's half Uzumaki, and he would be able to play with the kids at school since he has control over the sand. Speaking of, Wasa would help Gawa control his magnet style. He would use some type of jutsu to go into Gawa's mindscape and talk to Sukaku. He himself would unleash the seal and would help a 4-year-old Gawa take on Sukaku. And by help, I mean he would do all the work and would have Gawa talking to jutsu Sukaku into being nice while holding him down with his chains. And after all of this, Gawa would be able to talk to and befriend Sukaku, and sense high-level chakra presences as well as others in Turkey. Wasa had done all of this with his kids within 3 months, so he did all of this while all his kids were 4. But the entire time he was helping his kids become strong, he had been training himself to the breaking point in case he had to fight Hiruzen. And fighting Sukaku was a sort of test. One for fighting Hiruzen. If it sounds like I'm saying test, I'm not. I'm saying test. I know, very confusing. And then, after all his training, he put the trio to sleep and went to the leaf with Yasumaru, his other brother-in-law, to get Naruto. He left a clone in the other defenses in case anything happened while he was gone. When he arrived at the leaf, it was quiet and dark. Perfect time for kidnapping, or as Wasa would call it, a family reunion. Hearing that without context sounds so messed up. Anyway, he and Yasumaru infiltrated the village in cloaks and they were transformed. They both erased their chakra signatures and found Naruto in the same house where Minato and Kusina had lived, and had taken him ever so gently since he was asleep at the time. And with that fulfilled, they body flickered as quick as possible, but not before getting everything in that house since they didn't know what Naruto liked. They also went to the Hokage Mansion and took some files about Minato and Kusina. They didn't go in the building itself, but Wasa had infused chakra into the dust, but Wasa had used his gold dust to get inside the Hokage's room. Take the files with the magnetic field, and then bring the files towards his hand. And after that, they had left the village. The next day, Hiruzen was going to give Naruto his weekly money, but he couldn't find him. He checked the entire house and nothing. He checked the entire village, but still nothing. Naruto wasn't in the academy yet, so he couldn't ask any teacher or student. He then held a meeting with the council, and even then, it was nothing. Hiuzen held another 5 Kage summit to ask the other great villagers. He quickly found out that Wasa had taken Naruto since Wasa straight up told him. Hiuzen was about to kill Wasa, but kept his cool and demanded that Naruto return. But then Wasa had done something nobody would have expected. He made a proposal. Hiuzen, will you marry me? No. His proposal was that Naruto would stay in the leaf for about a month. No, his proposal was Naruto would stay in the sand for about a month, and then stay in the leaf for a month. And after those 2 months, Naruto would make the decision for himself. Hiuzen was outraged, but the other Kage backed up Wasa, since it made a lot of sense for this to be the outcome. It was the one where war would not be the only outcome. Hiuzen reluctantly agreed and let Naruto stay in the sand for a month. When Naruto woke up, he was scared since he was in an unknown place, but then he saw a red-haired boy, and for some reason he felt safer. That boy was Gaara, and he had been watching Naruto for a few seconds since he too had just woken up. Then the Wasa clone came in and woke Kankuro and Tamari up, as well to catch all of them up on the situation. Naruto was kinda happy since he was always treated like trash for being alive and he never knew why. Wasa was genuinely surprised that Naruto didn't know that he was a Jinchuriki, and thought to himself that it was a good thing he took the files. He took out the files, transformed them into something they could all understand, and had them read it. Naruto was crying tears of madness, sadness, and happiness. Tripleness. Anyway, he was mad that no one, not even Hiuzen, who had been the nicest to him, told him about Kurama. He was sad because he found out that he was the son of Minato and Kusina, and that they died protecting him, but he was happy that he now had a family to love. And that's where chapter 1 ends. So, yeah. By the time I finish this entire what if, I challenge any of you to put down in the comments how many times I've said family, like throughout the entire story. I want you to jot down each time I say family, because I know I'm gonna say it a lot. And yeah, that's it. I know I'm making this at 3:41, but it's better late than never. Well, in this case, it's better early than never. But yeah, since the what if that's going to be going alongside with this is what if Naruto is raised in the Mist Village, and since I worked on the Sand Village like a lot more before the Mist Village, I'm gonna upload 2 videos of the Sand Village, then 1 of the Mist, then 2 of the Sand Village, and 1 of the Mist. And depending on how long the other chapters are, I might continue to do that. And don't think I have anything else to say. If you made it all the way through the video, thank you. If my voice is quiet, I apologize. It's 3:42 in the morning, so yeah. And yeah, I think that's it. Hope anyone watching this has a good day. Bye. Noob out.